Successive penalties have them looking now at a 1st and 20. They'll look to throw here. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. The end result, 21 yards. They'll drop to throw. Eluding the pressure right.
Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. And it'll be incomplete. Good job staying with him defensively. And it'll bring up 2nd down.
I remember a coach told me a long time ago the difference between playing corner and safety in the NFL. Corner is like the Autobahn. Everybody just fly really busy in this game, although they got...
They'll spot it at the 49. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
A partner, they're locked in man coverage out left, and they end up running a crossing route. Rounded it a little bit more than a slant. And he's just going to angle himself towards the right side of the field, and that's very difficult for a defender to shadow him across all that ground.
He finds Wilson.
And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Here's Jacobs. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Josh Jacobs, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Raiders take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
And this is going to be caught. It's good. And that extends their lead by 2 more. He gets the big target for the 2-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
The risk-reward of the onside kick. When you don't get it, the risk comes out to play, and here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything, because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them, and field position leads you to that type of play calling, and whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things. Now they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent.
2nd and 10 here as we sit in the 3rd quarter of this divisional round matchup.
Justin Herbert looking to pass. A little short pass. This is Everett. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. And he hits the upright, but it caroms in anyway. Boy, plenty of distance there as he banks it in. And that lead is back down to 9 now. Well, distance was never the question there, but he gets a friendly bounce to carom that thing through the uprights.
Yeah, and when you're trying to hit from 50-plus, you got to expect the ball's going to slide one way or the other. So he's pretty fortunate there that he's able to bank this one in.
And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Raiders offense ready to go. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and
he's going to be intercepted a third time. And he will not get all the way home, but he will take this back down to about the 2-yard line. How about this starting field position? First and goal from 2 yards out. They'll try to run this one in. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, second and goal. They'll motion out one of the tight ends. They'll try to run this one in. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2. A big one coming in this divisional round playoff. Third and goal. In motion right, one of the tight ends. They'll run here on third and goal. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth. And his kick is indeed good, and that'll move him back within 6 now.
So kind of disappointing there. I mean, yes, they get the 3, but with starting field position like that, 3's not what you're banking on.
No, and you just have to wonder if you can afford to let chances like that continue to pass you by. You've got to find ways to get the ball into the end zone and put 6s on the scoreboard.
No run back here for Reed, so this will come out to the 25. The Vegas offense ready for their next possession. The last drive for this offense, Charles, you remember it ended in one play, that quick interception, but they do still have the lead as they start this drive here.
And that's something to focus on for them as well, because it's not quite no harm, no foul, but the interception, hey, shake it off, move on. Hasn't cost your team the lead, and now it's time to rebound, and the quarterback and his teammates, they can add to the lead with a good drive here.
And a completion to Wilson. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
They'll fake the jet sweep there. Instead, hand to Jacobs up the middle. Yeah, he'll fight for a couple as the tackle is made at about the 32.
1 quarter remains for the right to advance to the AFC title game. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly.
There he goes right side.
There he goes again.
And all the way down to the 5. Wow, first and goal, and defensively, all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well.
Here's White. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Rashad White, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Raiders are drawing closer to a date in the AFC title game as they extend this fourth quarter lead. And now before we get to the extra point, remember all touchdowns do have to be confirmed by the replay official. Is this a touchdown? That's the question. CD, what are they looking for here?
You just need any part of the football to break the plane. You don't need the whole football. It doesn't need to go over the entire white line. It's just that front part of the white line. And if you draw an imaginary plane going straight up, that's what they need to cross.
So take away the touchdown. The officials rule he did not get the football to break the plane. They'll run it with Jacobs. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Josh Jacobs saving his best for the playoffs with his third touchdown of the game. And the Raiders get an important score there to extend their lead here in this fourth quarter.
Now they'll send a tight end in motion left. They'll look to throw. And he's got it. So the two-point conversion is good, and they add on to their fourth quarter lead. And, of course, on the two-point try, had the option to run or pass. They pass it there, and it works.
Felt pretty straightforward, didn't it? An open receiver, ball's put on him, 2 points for them.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Charger drive about to get going. And this could be the defining moment of their season, all hyperbole aside. You're trailing here in the fourth quarter, the divisional round. And they need to come up with something as they get this drive started.
Fourth quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
Last week in that wild card win, only one catch, and now he's got his first catch here, and it's good for a first down.
They'll try and run this one right up the gut.
And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be second down. Second down and 6 now.
Pushing his way through, and he's going to get this inside the 30. That one good for 13 and a Charger first. Herbert on first down now. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. It's Devin White, the linebacker. And the Raiders are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line.
Well, time, certainly not on their side offensively. They had to take some chances, but that interception will further hinder their already slim chance at victory.
Yeah, and you're talking about time not on their side, but it certainly is on the defense's side, and they understood that. They knew they had to press it a little bit, and they planned accordingly, and what a benefit for them, able to pick that one off and hopefully put this game away.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
Second down, Jacobs once more.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. On third down, he'll drop to throw. And he's got his big tight end here. And he'll be stopped short of the first down as they rally to tackle him at about the 28. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They've got a fourth down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on fourth. Back to throw here. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Picked off by Asante Samuel Jr. Now with that interception, you feel like we've got a ball game again. Remember, a two-score contest and still time left here in the fourth.
And in the old days, not too long gone either. Throwing the ball here would have been an outside.
And he's wrapped up, taken down, back at the 25. They'll come up now. This is 2nd and long. Now here's a throw that's complete. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Now 1st and goal. Now Herbert. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Here we go. The noise deafening. 4th and goal. Herbert to throw. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Raiders are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here. Maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game. But give credit to this defense. They've really stood tall throughout.
And oh my goodness, here's a 5th interception. Derwin James with a pick, and he's going to return it to the 21-yard line. Well, in all likelihood, this ball game's still over. I mean, even with the interception, 2-score game, they need a miracle.
Curious decision to even throw the ball in that situation, but maybe they saw a stacked line of scrimmage and said, hey, it's better to try and
he takes this one into the end zone, and all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against him.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. Oh, he's going up top for Wilson. That's caught inside the 20. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. They'll set up a throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown in. Frankly, that should have been another pick right there. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. Now the Chargers will use the 2nd of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. So now with 6 seconds remaining, we get a timeout on the field. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They go with Jacobs.
And he's across for the late touchdown. And in the final seconds, that one should just about put a capper on this game.
You get down this deep, Charles, you hate to settle for a field goal. They roll the dice on fourth down, really just hoping to get that first. But as it turns out, they take it all the way into the end zone.
You mentioned that they took a little bit of a gamble there. Think about it this way. Most teams throw the ball in this situation in the NFL, so they really gamble with a running play. And boy, did it pay off. Pay dirt.
The Raiders again will come to the line and go for two. They'll look to throw. And this one's caught. And their fourth quarter lead grows by a couple more. So they go with a pass, and it works there on the two-point try. Charles, just in general, what are your thoughts, passing versus running on two-point conversion? Situational?
It is situational, and you have to know your team. What is your strength? Because so many people think you have to throw the ball in a two-point conversion, but the stats will tell you that running it is about as proficient. So know your team and go to your strength.
So they stay alive in the NFL playoffs, move on to the conference championship. And do you think that the printing press is starting to get those T-shirts and hats ready, my friend?
They have to, Brandon. They have to be ready because if you win, you've got to hand those out on
today. From Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada, it's the AFC Championship game on EA Sports.
The winner here goes to the Super Bowl, and we'll know soon enough which team that'll be as we are underway in the AFC title game. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. So here comes the Raider offense now onto the field. And they will be led out by their 6'3" quarterback.
And we can talk all we want about football being a team game and leaning on different parts and aspects in order to get it done. And that's entirely true during the regular season. Some weeks it's the defense, the special teams, running the football. But in the playoffs, all the pressure reverts to the quarterback, and he has to play well and play at a really high level in order for his team to win.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's Jair Brown who's got it. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. Now Achane on 1st and 10. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Now we get a stoppage because a member of the Raiders shaken up on that one. Now a 2nd and 10. Achane here, they stay on the ground. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Oh, he's going to go ahead and field it from the 3-yard line. It's a net of 40 there, a punt of 48 and a return of 8. And the Raider drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. Second drive of the game coming up for this Las Vegas offense. Remember last time out they threw the interception on their first drive. Good news, their defense backed them up, so it's still 0-0 here as they begin their second possession.
Yeah, and one great way to judge a defense, how do they handle what we call sudden change? When all of a sudden, you know, it goes against their offense and have to run out in the field and try and put out the fire. Give this one great kudos for getting out there and not letting that interception lead to points. Excellent job by them defensively.
And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. He's got his target. That's complete. Down the sideline he goes. He's on his way. And all the way down to the 17-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. 72 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a 1st down in the red zone. Catch made right side by Wilson. And the Raiders are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Michael Mayer from 3 yards out. And the Raiders are on the board first here in this AFC Championship game. Now for the extra point, Daniel Carlson. kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Yeah, they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Now, let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit
Sometimes
better.
it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. And the Raiders call on a nickel set for third down. Tua sets up to pass it. This one thrown underneath to Achane. And he won't get to the marker. He's a yard short. A pickup of 3. It leaves him with 4th and 1. Now is the punter, Jordan Stout. He'll return it from the 6. .43-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return. And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They'll try and start this drive in the air. That's down the field for Jefferson. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. Well, obviously, they never want to see penalties on that defense, but this one a little bit more significant there on the downfield pass play.
And coaches preach it all the time. You can't put yourself in that kind of position if you're the defender. You've got to stay in a spot far downfield where you can play the ball without creating extra contact.
A Raider first down, 17 yards. On play action, they'll throw. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Looking to throw. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Dolphins are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they find a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
On first down, Tagovailoa into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamin Davis. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete. 2 seconds to go, first quarter. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again.
Tonight on EA Sports, Super Bowl 61. It's the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Las Vegas Raiders.
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Tonight, it is all on the line. We play for the Lombardi Trophy, as it'll be the AFC champion Las Vegas Raiders taking on the NFC champions, the Dallas Cowboys. The long NFL season down to this. One game to decide it all. Super Bowl 61 underway. And we will not have a return, so the first drive of this Super Bowl will begin at the 25.
So here comes the Raiders offense now onto the field. And they'll be led out by their quarterback now.